Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in to the open house session with the faculty of the School of Education from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Hyderabad. I'm Sauraveswar Sen, founder, Catalyst Learning Services, welcoming all of you to this discussion session to know, understand the program's prospects and placement opportunities of the MA Education program offered by TISS Hyderabad. First and foremost, a sincere thanks to the entire TISS Hyderabad team, our esteemed faculty speakers. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out your valuable time and being with us to discuss about the program and also address the questions and doubts of our aspirants. Thank you so much, Shairi from the TISS Hyderabad communication team for knitting this session together. And thank you so much, participants, for supporting our endeavor and being with us today. To begin with, I would like to introduce our faculty speakers, Professor Rekha Pappu, a professor at the School of Education Studies, Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Hyderabad. Her research interests are in the areas of education, development, women's studies, and cultural studies. She has published in these areas in academic journals and anthologies, as well as in magazines and newspapers. She has co-edited the 2 volumes of Springer's major reference works titled Handbook of Education Systems in South Asia in 2021. Before joining TISS, Rekha Pappu was the coordinator and director of Anveshi Research Center for Women's Studies, Hyderabad, convener of the Andhra Pradesh Social Watch, and research consultant with the Higher Education Cell of the Center for the Study of Culture and Society. She has been a Fulbright Tata Visiting Fellow at the Institute for Research on Women and Gender, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, USA, a visiting fellow at the Institute of Development Studies, IDS, University of Sussex, UK, and a key technology partnership fellow at the University of Technology, Sydney. Rekha Pappu has undertaken study projects and impact assessments for a range of institutions and organizations, including the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India, Wipro Applying Thought in Schools, WATIS, Bengaluru, Interchurch Organization for Development Corporation, ICCO, Netherlands, German Agro Action, Delhi, Oxfam, Hyderabad, and Tata Trusts, Mumbai. Even as her primary engagement continues to be with academics in terms of teaching, developing curriculum, and conducting research, Rekha Pappu aspires to write fiction. Narrative flow and finesse in all forms, written, spoken, or in the visual medium, and as fiction or non-fiction, fascinates her. It's a pleasure hosting you, Professor Rekha Pappu, today, and thank you so much for your time to be with us. Sonia Soni is an assistant professor at the School of Educational Studies at the Tata Institute of Social Science, Hyderabad. She has a rich background in education, having worked as a primary grade teacher and a junior headmistress before joining TISS. Her core interests lie in engaging with the complexities of inclusive education, special educational needs, equity, and social justice, child rights, and students' social emotional well-being. More specifically, she explores the nature of inclusive strategies and the influence of these on students' well-being and academic achievements. Sonia pursues her research interests by extensively engaging in research, teaching, publishing, conducting workshops, and developing curriculum. She has conducted studies for various international and national institutions and organizations, including UNESCO, the Government of Telangana, the Government of Maharashtra, Cognizant Foundation, Wipro Applying Thoughts in Schools, and others. Her scholarship is interdisciplinary and draws on multiple perspectives and methods. She regularly reviews for journals, publishers, research bodies, and conferences. She is a recipient of iSTEP scholarship from the Stanford Graduate School of Education, Stanford University, USA, and the Cambridge Assessment Scholarship, Cambridge Commonwealth Trust, UK. Professor Sonia, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing and we look forward to know more about the perspectives of the education program from both of you. Before we begin, again, We want to set the tone of the session by setting the priority, which is the question and queries of our participants. And we cannot thank Professor Asim, who has joined us right now, for the relentless support that we have always received from him, and we look forward to take this session being constructive enough for the participants to apply for the course. Professors, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sen. I must join you in extending a warm welcome to all who have joined this particular open house to know more about education. They have shown their interest and they have joined here, and we are looking forward also to their then joining our Hyderabad campus as well as the campus in Mumbai. Because this is one of the things that I would want everybody here to note, that this is, we're speaking about MA in education, and this particular program is offered both from the Hyderabad campus as well as the Mumbai campus. But one thing, again, I hope to come back to this point, that when you are registering on the TISS portal, you would need to indicate your preference for both these programs separately, though the program itself is the same and is offered from the two campuses. So I'm sure that all of you are here to know more about the MA education program, and you've got various questions in your mind as well. So I'll make a short presentation where I hope to combine both these elements, as in I will try and answer some obvious questions that you may have in mind, or certain kinds of dilemmas about why MA in education, why MA in education at TISs, why at the Hyderabad campus, why at the Mumbai campus, what is this program about? So I'll take you through a set of slides, and you are free to ask questions at any point in time. Either I'm not sure if this format allows for you to unmute, but you can put your questions in the chat or hold on to your questions, and we will have ample time for the Q&A session. And as Mr. Sen said, this is really about interacting with you. So any kind of doubt that you may have, you can ask us right away or get back to us later as well. But if you ask your doubt now, then others also get to know more about it. So let me just begin. Yeah, so this is, let me just reduce this slideshow. Okay. So the first one about why an MA in education, what does it allow you to do? For one, education can be a very fulfilling kind of career. It is often said that to teach somebody is to touch a life forever. So this is one aspect of education that should attract those who are involved or interested in transforming the society, and education is held as one of the core aspects that can enable this. But more matter-of-factly, what is an educational professional? What can they do? And so MA education allows you to become an education professional who can develop curricular resources. This could be at the school level. There is need, especially with now ECC becoming the early childhood care and education becoming an important part of NEP. There is always need for the development of different kinds of resources at different levels of education. So this is one thing that is possible. Strengthen teaching at different educational levels, whether it is the primary level, the foundational stage, or the next stages of schooling, or at the higher educational level. The strengthening the institution, educational aspects of the institution is what this program will allow you to do. It will allow you to influence policies through advocacy and impact practices in education through policies, but also through setting up different kinds of models for education itself. The professional, you could conduct education research and offer evidence-based analysis and provide leadership in education. This is one aspect that should also entice you to join this program. School leadership, leadership at the higher educational level, again, is an important feature that different organizations at the national and international level are taking up in a big way. So let me just very quickly talk about what it entails before I go on to why do you do the MA in education. I've talked about why MA in education. and I would want to talk about why do it with us. But just to flag this part that the program we are offering is a full-time program. It is for a duration of 2 years and has a total credits throughout the 2 years is 80. And what this means very simply is that in about 16 weeks, you would have about 4 to 6 hours of immersion in the program. Let me not say that classroom teaching, but immersion in the program for at least 4 to 6 hours, 5 days a week kind of timetabling. So why study at TISS? This particular programs could be done from any of the universities, but why at TISS? And here I would want to claim that we have national and international recognition for our work. This is through the kinds of projects that we have done, through the kinds of consultations that we have provided from our campuses. It is also in terms of advocacy work that has been done, providing the inputs for major policies and policies in education that have been introduced by the country, and in some instances at the international level, but mostly at the national level. And all our programs are informed by field action. And there's another point that I come back to about them being informed by research. So when I talk about faculty being active in research, these are linked, as in once people do take up research, are involved in field action, you get a sense of you have a better sense of the pulse of interest of what people are looking for, what are the best practices, what kinds of gaps need to be filled. So the programs are in fact informed by both field action and by research. And at TISS, I would say there is an innovative use of ICT in general, but also ICT because it's an educational institution. And I would say that the center at TISS Mumbai, as well as the School of Educational Studies at Hyderabad, has supported the institute in the ICT use in education. There are various examples. I'll come back to it if anybody's interested in it. Also professional development. This is aided by the different programs. And I will speak a bit more about placement as I go forward. I just want to stop at or say a bit about the kind of student support and financial aid that TISS offers. There are fellowships of different kinds, and there are offices that support students to apply for these fellowships. And the institute itself provides financial aid to certain students. So these are fellowships that are the government of India provides or state governments provide. And in certain instances, it's also there is international exchange programs which students can be a part of. So this is possible through TISS. And then I move on to education in particular. So this was to do with most of the programs, but in relation to education, all of what I mentioned just now applies. And over and above that, these are some of the aspects that I would want to further emphasize. That within the program, there is one seeks for that optimal combination of enabling, introducing theory and also introducing practice. So this is not a professional course, and yet the practice component is something that one strives to get the students to understand better. There's Mr. Sen has spoken about it has introduced just me and Dr. Sonia, but I want to say that all the faculty, education faculty at TISS, both the campuses, are highly qualified and committed. There's a faculty that have been with the institute for long periods of time. So that too speaks volumes for the kind of commitment to the institute, to the domain education as such. Do have an impressive track record of student placements. We have not always achieved 100% placement just as they finish their students finish the MA programs, but along the way, a few months later, we found that all our students more or less are placed. So this is something that we do try and work towards. There have been periods when we have not really met our goals, but this commitment to student placements is definitely in place. And quite a few of our students have gone abroad for their higher studies. Many have joined doctoral programs. In fact, many have now completed the doctoral programs, and we are proud to then refer to our students as doctor, whatever, from different universities in the US, in the Europe, in UK, and in India as well. So we do have a large number of such students. Um, Through our programs, and also because of these different research collaborations that we have and the field action that we are involved in with the local organization, there are opportunities for interactions with a range of people in the field, in education itself. And this too helps students build their, not just their understanding of the field, but an understanding of what is possible through education. And of course, they build their own networks as they go, as they traverse through the program. Let me just, I have about 3 slides on the key features of MA education, and that's why you see these numbers. Let me just run you through the salient or the most significant features of the program so you get a better sense of it. This is, of course, a master's program, as with all the other master's programs at TISS, aligned with the National Education Policy 2020, where there is a reimagination of education, which comes from NEP 2020, but also from a lot of internal discussions about how we would want to orient our own program. And towards that end, we have restructured the curriculum so that all of you who will be joining in or will be part of the 2024-26 batch will be going through the revised curriculum. So I'll also take you very quickly through the program structure itself so that you get an idea. Innovative pedagogy is something that NEP 2020 emphasizes, and our revised program structure also takes that through. So there is quite a bit of emphasis on peer learning, on group learning, learning through group activities, through presentations, through field immersions, through capstone projects or research projects. In fact, NEP 2020 emphasizes that the second year in particular should be more oriented towards research or building up the research capabilities and skills of the students. And we do have guided research projects that the students go through. And I mentioned this earlier that our programs, our readings are also responsive to what is required in the global educational arena. As in today, the globe is a village in a sense. So there are many interconnections, and without knowing, because even at the policy level, educational aspects, educational way educational institutions are being shaped have a lot to do with international thinking in relation to various aspects. And our program is also responsive to these requirements of the field as such. So the structure is something that I will probably just quickly show you, but I want to draw your attention to the fact that the program has certain kinds of courses. And these are, as you can see, 5 types of courses with different names, which I will put up for you. But the foundational courses introduce students, provide a foundation in social sciences in a manner of speaking. And this is for all the master's students, it's a compulsory thing. In relation to in addition to the foundational courses, you have educational studies courses. So that is a combination of core and elective courses. So you have educational studies courses, the core ones build on disciplines. So you have, for instance, history of education, you have sociology of education, you have philosophy of education. So the understanding of education itself, that particular foundation in education is a very important part of the program as such. The foundational courses provide a foundation in social sciences broadly, and the educational studies courses ground the student in education. Together with that, we in the new program structure, we have professional competency courses, which include courses like ICT, Introduction to ICT Use, design thinking. There's also project management and assessment and evaluation. So these are skill building courses, education communication. This is an important aspect as well. So the skills that are essential for a student as they go forward to build a profession in education is something that we have built into the new program. There are the research methodology courses. As I said, the second year is emphasizing research. And there is the requirement for research in different ways in the domain itself. So there are research methodology courses. And there are, of course, throughout the 2 years and the 4 semesters, there's field-based experiential learning. The course I spoke about, elective courses or optional courses. These are the areas in which we offer these are specializations. So through the choice of the electives, the student can build a specialization either in early childhood education. These are just a few examples. There, depending on the student's interest, there's a possibility to custom make their specialization as well. So we've indicated just certain kinds of specialization which the students can gain through the program itself. So there's curriculum and pedagogic studies courses, education development and policy, inclusive education, teacher professional development. So these are some of the courses that, as I said, build specialization for the student. This is a program structure, so I won't dwell too much on it. I've spoken a bit about it, but what you will notice is that there are 4 semesters, almost even distribution of credits. So we talked about 80 credits, overall 80 credits. There is this distribution of credits. There are core courses, there are elective courses. So this particular structure only indicates to you the core and elective, but if you recall, I also spoke of the types of courses. So you have the professional competency courses, the field immersion, the research, and the specialization. So all of this is, in a sense, packaged for the students through the 4 semesters. So staying course is, like, in a sense, very important for the student to build these capabilities that we are talking about. And I want, so let me just then go on to, so even for the field immersion, as well as various other activities which involve calling upon resource persons, I'm using here a slide which indicates, which has the logos of our partners. So we have the Tata Trust, Cognizant Foundation, UKRI, the Ministry of Education, all those organizations that we have worked with at one point or the other is what is indicated here. And there's also another one which gives a snapshot of how we have engaged with these different partners. But before I come to this, let me just come to this slide, which speaks about what are the career opportunities. So I spoke earlier about why do an MA in education? And this is what an MA in education, I mean, one can fashion one's career, but we're offering this as some of the aspects that the student or the aspirant can aim for, even as they join and then move forward. So in education policy and policy analysis, program design and implementation, there are specific needs for these kinds of jobs. And there are various advertisements, if I may say so, or job descriptions that ask for these kinds of abilities and skills. Curriculum and resource development, evaluation and monitoring in relation to education projects. There is, of course, research that one can go for within in higher educational institutions and contribute to the field. So there is academic research. Material design. So material design is another area of specialization, which is, there is like a great need for this particular area again. School mentoring and leadership, I spoke about it earlier. So there are these various aspects. School leaders, many of our students actually have another thing that probably needs to be clarified, that this is, I've said this before, it's not a professional program. It's not a MEd, it's an MA in education, but it's a liberal program. But quite a few of our students have been absorbed as school principals within the human resource development wing of different kinds of schools and educational organizations. We can speak more about this if there are any further questions, and I can come back to this. But this is again a snapshot of for field attachment, where there have been collaborations in terms of school internships. And this is putting together organizations that the Bombay campus has worked with, as well as the Hyderabad campus students and faculty have worked with. TISS has institutionalized career counseling and guidance. So we have a career guidance and placement cell, which is student-led. There is this particular cell is focused on capacity building of the students who wish to be placed, and they do this capacity building in different ways. They develop presentation and interviewing skills, provide support in CV preparation, support in developing soft skills and enhancing their communication abilities. Also mapping skill sets. So different students have different kinds of skill sets. So which organization, which student would be best suited to which organization? This kind of mapping is also something that the students, the CGPC does. And to some extent, and in some cases, and to a large extent in some other cases, the faculty is involved in helping out with these various aspects. But I must emphasize that CGPC is largely student-led. There is, of course, guidance and application to international higher education program. And here in this particular case, faculty is much more involved because this would require referencing in different ways. So this is something that the entire institution is supportive of. Okay, from CGPC, I'm like moving to the range of programs that, just to give you a sense, we were too caught up in the classroom and in our careers. This is just to say that there's so much else at TISS Hyderabad. This is especially students have formed different kinds of clubs, and there are a range of activities. So you can see the kind of innovativeness from the range of things that they do. Okay, we can come back to this and invite you all to like come with your own ideas or join any of them. But back to MA education, I just have testimonies from two of our alumni. This is like randomly picked up, and I noticed that both are from the 2019-21 batch. I'll just leave this for less than a minute. You can go through what they are saying. This was these testimonies we used at the time before the CUET program was, CUET exam was to be held, and or the application was to be filed. So this is what they have to say about their experiences. They are now working in different places. One of Niti is at Todel, and Prakash is a Gandhi Fellow at Kaivalya Education Foundation. So this is my last slide, inviting you once again to register for the program, MA in Education. on the TISS portal. The details are here. The eligibility is the COQP11 paper. This is a mandatory requirement. I mean, only those with this particular test score in this paper can apply for the programs. And they can, of course, select up to 3 PG programs. But here we're speaking about selecting MA in education. And as I said, MA in education in Hyderabad, in Mumbai, separately, the preference need to be given for that. Yeah, and this is the mail ID. Please feel free to note it down. We'll put it in the chat box as well. So this is the mail ID. Any kind of query that you may have, please get in touch with us. And we will have a few more such interactive sessions. You're free to join that, but you're free also to mail us or come up with your questions at this point in time. So let me stop share here and see. Juhi has a question. I haven't looked at the chat, but yeah, Juhi. Is that okay, Mr. Sen, that I initiate? Yeah.
So thank you for the presentation. It was very helpful.
Juhi, can't hear you clearly.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So yeah, I was just saying thank you for the presentation. That was very helpful. I have a couple of questions, actually more than a couple. So firstly, I wanted to ask, is there any difference between TISS Mumbai scores and TISS Hyderabad scores, or are they the same curriculum-wise?
Program is entirely the same. The program structure that I showed you, the types of courses, is all the same. So the program is exactly the same. The only distinction may be in terms of the specializations or the electives that are offered, and that will depend on the cohort of students. So that would be the primary difference between the two programs.
Right. And what is the difference between MA education and MA? Because you mentioned that MA is more professional. So, but I don't understand, like, how does that, make the difference?
Okay. Do you want to ask your other questions? I'll come to this as well.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask if there are scholarships that can be offered by Tata Institute if we want to go abroad for international programs. So, is there anything like that?
Yes. About the distinction between MEd and MA education, I'm glad you asked this question. MA education, so let me first speak about MA education. It's a program for which you could come from any background. So a bachelor's in any discipline makes you eligible to apply and do an MA in education, because we have built the program in such a way that you don't necessarily need prior knowledge about the field. What you do need is interest and a commitment to stay in this field. But in terms of prior knowledge, we are not requiring anything. Whereas the essential qualification for an MEd would be that you have a B.Ed. Without a B.Ed, you cannot join for an MEd. And these B.Ed and MEd are courses recognized by the National Council of Teacher Education, making the B.Ed and the MEd graduates eligible to teach. So B.Ed graduates would typically work only as school teachers. The MA and MEd graduates or postgraduates would be teaching the B.Ed graduates. So these are the qualifications. Whereas what we are saying is with MA education, the field is wide open and you can shape your own career in education. So that is what. But the main part is, yeah, sorry.
Rekha, before you move further, I just want you to explain everyone. See, there's a lot of confusion. There's something called elementary education. There's something called CET. There's something called School of Educational Studies. Can you just explain everybody that what is this difference there?
Okay, let me wait to ask if anybody has such a doubt.
Yes, there's a doubt there. That's why I just.
Where is it? In the chat?
And several people has asked us during the last few days on phone calls also.
Yeah, I'll come back to that.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Manish.
Hello, ma'am. क्या मैं हिंदी में
Manish,
बात कर
just a
पाऊँ?
minute. Just can you just hold on? There was also a question Juhi had about, do you get opportunities to go abroad? Is there support for that? Yes, there are certain programs. There are fellowships offered by Germany, for instance. Several years ago, some of our students did go on an exchange program. There is support, and especially if there is a research project that is on which allows for these kinds of student exchange, we are able to then make headway with providing this kind of a support. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, I also wanted to ask one small thing. I mean, so I have finished my B.Ed, and I was thinking what would be like a better course for me. Will it be M.Ed or M.A. education? I mean, are they different in any way? Because when I looked at the course structure in TISS Mumbai, though the courses were all same. So yeah, I just wanted to, get an idea.
I don't think the courses are the same, but for the professional of educational professional in that sense, along with a B.Ed, M.Ed, you'd also need an additional M.A. So you can do an M.A. in a particular discipline, or you could do M.A. education. So if you are joining for M.A. education, it's not necessarily wasted, but then the usual trajectory is M.Ed. And
Right.
you could then explore the TISS Mumbai CET, what it is offering.
Right. Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, after this, we'll have to move to others, Juhi.
Yes, just last question. So, in the chat on WhatsApp, I read that there were government placement as well. So, I wanted to, get more idea about that. If there are government,
Yes, governments these days do, it's not a full government job as we understand it, it's not permanent, but they do choose consultants. So some of our students initially did join as consultants in certain departments of the Andhra Pradesh government when the bifurcation took place, and they do join different missions or government missions. So there is the livelihood mission, there is and education graduates too have been a part of this. So when you talk of government placements, regular government jobs have a certain route to it. Of course, like one is the ability for these candidates to excel in those exams or requirements as well. But in terms of placements, this is what is more immediately available. Yeah. Manish will come to you. Manish, can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
One question. Can I in Hindi?
Can't hear you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ma'am, I can speak in Hindi, ma'am.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
जैसे कि मैम मेरा अभी जो सीबीटी में जो मेरा रूरल डेवलपमेंट कोटापुर कैंपस के लिए हुआ है, तो वो कोर्स समझो मुझे कोर्स के लिए जाना नहीं है, तो इसके लिए जैसे कि एमए एजुकेशन हैदराबाद या मुंबई कैंपस के लिए क्या मैं अप्लाई कर सकता हूँ क्या मैम? वो चीज करके
हाँ. Sonia,
कर
you want to
पाएंगे?
comment? हाँ. My Hindi is not too good, पर मुझे ये समझ में आया कि आप बोल रहे हैं आप एक प्रोग्राम के लिए अप्लाई किए थे और आप पूछ रहे हैं कि एजुकेशन के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं क्या?
हाँ हाँ हाँ, यस मैम.
हाँ, आप कर सकते हैं. आप वो टिस पोर्टल पे जाइए और देखिए देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ एडिटिंग योर प्रेफरेंसेस, तो वहां पे जाके आप चेंज कर सकते हैं.
ऐसा है क्या मैम?
चेंज भी कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, जैसे कि ये कोर्स के लिए सिलेक्शन हो गया, ये ऑप्शन में ये रख के एक सिक्वेयर खुद के एडमिशन के लिए जिसमें आना है मुझे, तो
हाँ,
इसे सिक्वेयर रख के दूसरे कोर्सेज के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं क्या अभी भी मैम? जैसे कि मुंबई कैंपस है.
आपके पास तीन प्रेफरेंसेस है, तो उन प्रेफरेंसेस ओनली 3 is what you can go with, not more than 3, so you will have to choose. और किस ऑर्डर
हाँ
में आप प्रेफरेंस देंगे, that will also become important.
और जिसका मुझे एक मेल आया है टीच का रूरल डेवलपमेंट सुल्तानपुर की,
हाँ
तो वो रख के दूसरे 2 अप्लाई कर सकता हूँ मैं अभी?
हाँ, आप कर सकते हैं, आप कर
मैम,
सकते
थैंक यू
हैं।
मैम, यही
या
था, मन में सवाल था मेरे।
ओके,
थैंक यू मैम।
yeah, Paki, and then maybe we'll look at the questions in the chat box.
Good evening, ma'am. I had just messaged in the chat box itself. I was just confused regarding the question. Sir was saying in the website specifically it is written that Mumbai campuses focuses on elementary. That I know you will clarify, but also it is written that it works in a blended mode. Like you mentioned that the Hyderabad campus focuses on all levels of education and is also a completely offline course, right? So
Okay.
just wanted your clarification.
Yeah. I have colleagues from the Mumbai campus as well. I should have mentioned this right at the beginning, that colleagues from the Hyderabad campus education, School of Educational Studies, as well as colleagues from the Mumbai campus are part of this interaction. So let me just clarify that in relation to education, there is a great deal of focus within TISS. So there are different programs. The MA in elementary education is a program that is different from MA in education, which is different from the B.Ed program and different from the B.Ed M.Ed program, as well as there's a new MA in education and technology program. So all these are different programs. Only the MA in elementary education is in the blended mode. It is meant for those who are working professionals. Blended as in there would be certain face-to-face sessions, and most of it would then be in the distance mode, online classes or through resources provided. There are also different, so another question that Professor Asim mentioned was about there's reference to CET, that is the Center of Excellence in Teacher Education. This is a center located in the Mumbai campus, which anchors some of the programs. I had another slide which indicated which of the programs were anchored where. So the MA education program, the B.Ed M.Ed is anchored by CET, and the MA education program is anchored by CET. The MA in elementary education is anchored by the School of Education. So is this clear, Paki?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Question in the chat about content and maths in the COQP 11, and if there's any chance for admission. Want to take that up? There's 2 people who've asked. Yeah, no, the same person's asking it again.
Oh, sorry, what's the question?
She says she has 99 marks in the COQP.
Yeah.
Is there any chance of admission, and should she
I
start
don't
preparing?
see TISS does not have a cutoff, so do not cut off your opportunity yourself. Do apply for the program, and there is, of course, 75% of the weightage is given to the score and 25% to the interview. But then there is no cutoff as such. So I would Ram Pratap Singh, no, we do not advertise or notify postdoc programs. If certain research projects allow for that, then we do, they do affiliate, postdocs do affiliate with the institute. Aditya's question is that you'd completed your B.Ed and now want to apply for M.Ed. I also applied for 3 programs, but M.Ed is not in it, and I want to apply for M.Ed. Can I change my program in TISS portal? You can change your program. There is a possibility for editing your options. But I would also suggest in terms of the B.Ed, M.Ed that you should attend the interaction that CET is organizing, where you will get a better sense of the B.Ed, M.Ed programs. Will this continue? No, we'll continue accepting CUET scores. To the extent that one can be certain about such decisions, yes, we will continue to accept CUET scores. If MA education, yes, of course, it is. You are qualified for writing exams such as NET. Yes, in fact, it helps you better prepare for these exams. Most of our students who have qualified for the UGC NET, GRF have done so after completing the first year of their MA. That is when you are more familiar with the kinds of questions that are asked by the NET program. Language would prefer, the preference is for English. But if there are difficulties, then we do allow, but we always encourage the candidate to speak in English, primarily because the program itself is going to be in English. In terms of reading and writing, one would definitely have to have that competency. But yeah, this is a good point. I want to add that we have the Center for English Language Development on the Hyderabad campus, which does provide English language support. So though we do not expect complete fluency, we expect certain kinds of, at least this commitment to work with the center and engage with the entire program in the English language. So this is something that UGC requires. And here too, I would want to add that students who have joined TISS without being very comfortable in English in the initial semesters, the time of graduation, we have noticed that they're much more confident in using English through the presentations they make, through their peer interactions. So in terms of that particular language skill, we have seen like there's a huge improvement as such. The package after completion of the program, initial package, you're referring to the pay package, I suppose. Yeah, this is not something that we would want to get into here. Are we eligible for direct personal interview, or we have to go through? There's no group discussion for MA education. There are only a couple of programs at TISS where you would have a group discussion, but not for most of the programs, and definitely not for MA education. But you will be given a topic for the extempore. So you will be given a topic in education. And so in terms of preparation for the interview, this is something that you would expect knowledge in the area of education, different kinds of topics, and you speak on it for about 3 minutes. Yeah. Yes, there is interview, Aditya. There is definitely an interview, which will carry 25% weightage. Meera, Sadakat, do you want to come in at any point to talk about, to respond to any of the questions? Dr. Meera Chandran and Dr. Sadakat Mullah are from the Mumbai campus, anchoring the MA education program there.
Hi, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
So, yeah, thank you, Rekha. I think I would just like to tell everyone that we are actually going to be holding webinars for the programs that are being offered from the Mumbai campus, which will be over the next 3 days. So I would request, I think if you have already applied, so you would have received these invitations on your email IDs. So please do check in on those emails, and you can also join the webinars and ask your questions there. So some of the questions that have been asked today about the different kinds of programs. I know it can be a little bit confusing. So you can join the webinar to get more clarity on the programs that are being offered in the Mumbai campus specifically. But just as a quick add-on to what Rekha has already indicated, the MA education program is something that is offered from TISS Hyderabad as well as from TISS Mumbai. these are nearly identical programs, but there are a few other programs that are being offered at this Mumbai that are different. And for clarity on those, as I said, you can join the webinar tomorrow and the day after and the day after that. Thank you.
If it helps, I'll just show this particular slide. So in terms of, this is what we have at TISS, the School of Education in Mumbai, which was established in 2012. And there is Center of Excellence, or CET, Center of Excellence in Teacher Education, also located in Mumbai. And there is this SES, School of Educational Studies in Hyderabad, which was established in 2011. As I mentioned, the MA in Elementary Education is anchored by the School of Education at Mumbai. CET anchors the MA in Education, the BEd, MEd programs, MA in Education and Technology. Yes, so these are the main programs anchored at CET. And School of Educational Studies has the MA in Education, and I'm referring here only to the master's programs. So there's also the PhD program and other kinds of certificate courses, but in terms of the postgraduate programs, this is how it's anchored. So I hope that is more clear. Yeah, so topics for the extempore. So the topics largely are related to education, but we also look at the candidates, what's it referred to? The what you write about yourself. So we have details about your undergraduate program, your various interests, your work experience or engagement with the field or whatever it is. So we do try and understand more through the particular kind of topic that we've given you. So it could be about educational policies. It could be about certain kinds of decisions taken in relation to education, about about specific subject related, school subject related aspect, or about pedagogy, about approaches to teaching children at different levels. So these are the kinds of topics that we focus on. If others have other examples, do come in. Yeah, Donna, to know you'd want to pursue a PhD. Yes, as I've mentioned, and this is especially true following NEP 2020, that we always had a focus on research, and at least 1/3 of our students went on to pursue higher education or a PhD and are doing pretty well. So there are research methodology courses. Yeah, I think BEd, MEd, my sense would be that it probably does not necessarily inculcate that. I would say that the MA education programs or the postgraduate programs in education that we offer at TISS definitely provides a lot more scope for building your interest in research and ability to carry out doctoral level research. Yeah, I seem to have missed this question earlier, is it? Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Of course, any discipline, it could be social sciences, it could be the sciences, it could be arts, BA literature, BA physics, BSc physics, or BSc mathematics, BA sociology. Any student with any background can apply, and mostly students of education have different disciplinary backgrounds, and as one of my colleagues often says, this is the strength of the domain of education, that so many disciplines do find a voice through education, and students from these backgrounds are able to build on it. Yes, BBA as well. Because there is the management and leadership is something that is of I mean, there is a lot to be done in this area as well. So everything definitely feeds into education because these disciplines themselves have emerged from, I mean, education, right? So it is, this domain would look into all aspects in that sense.
There's a question on work experience. Rohan says he doesn't have work experience and will it affect his interview?
You want a response, Sonia?
Yeah, not really, Rohan. It's more about your knowledge on education that we would be looking at. So, like what Rekha mentioned earlier, the type of topics that we will give, if you are reading the paper, are up to date with current affairs related to education, I think it would be good to go.
People get into project management from this course. There, yeah, another thing that I forgot to mention when I want speaking of skill building, professional competency, skill building courses, and also student support, is that at TISS Hyderabad we have something called the Academic Commons. So these are certain courses offered to students from all programs, and there's also the increasing recognition and realization that there are different kinds of projects funded by the government or different organizations, and project management is something that is expected of most people who are recruited. So it could be, of course, students of education would be better at project management of educational projects. So this is a full-fledged course we offer as an elective, but also through the Academic Commons, one does is getting introduced to project management, an understanding of what is involved in project management. Yeah, Julia, I hope that answers your questions. So the date for the interview will, we don't know the specific dates, but it would be sometime in June. And you'll get to know well in advance. So we would just ask you to be prepared in terms of your, we're not like looking at very technical, we're not looking for technical knowledge or specialized knowledge, but as I said, your enthusiasm and involvement, a commitment to education is what we are looking for. So you could prepare in that direction in terms of like broad-based understanding of education. If you already have specialized knowledge, that's of course welcome, because there are some candidates who have worked in the field or who have done their BLEd. So there are different possibilities. Yeah, Rohan, we think so too, but then this is like an institutional decision for very many good reasons that I mean, they do not have to appear for as many entrance exams. So there is a rationale for CUET as well, but yeah, so that is where we are.
If I may ask a question.
Yeah.
So, we work very closely with school teachers across India through our faculty development program. And while interacting with school teachers, we interact with a large number of B.Ed graduates, right?
B.Ed graduates.
B.Ed graduates, yeah. And very often, though the faculty development program centers around, say, strengthening their teaching outcomes, but teachers do interact with us, ma'am, about their own career progression, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So most of the times we notice that many are, kind of they start taking a backward step after completing their B.Ed and not sure whether they would like to go further with a MEd on always, right?
Right.
So we have been talking about the MA education program at TISS in these conversations quite often. I would like to take this opportunity, because we are also recording it, and I will try to convey this message to many of the B.Ed graduates, ma'am, that how would you present the MA education for a B.Ed graduate as an opportunity of their career mobility. If you would like to, just add specific, because we see a very large number of B.Ed graduates in our country. Many undergraduate colleges, ma'am, who are not universities, they offer B.Ed courses, right? Now, for B.Ed students, if you would like to share the way in which and this MA education program can specifically, leverage their career progression. Thank you.
Meera, Sadakat, Sonia, my faculty colleagues in education, would you want to respond to this? Because I have my take on it, which doesn't. The thing, Mr. Sen, is that definitely an MA in education broadens deepens and broadens their understanding of the domain for sure. But specifically, if you're asking about career progression, fortunately or otherwise, that career progression is set by the National Council of Teacher Education. So the MA in education, MA, as I mentioned in response to Juhi's question, typically MEd is the next career step if you have done a B.Ed, because that is a requirement. In addition to that, you have to also have another MA, and therefore one can make a case for MA education, but there too the preference would be a subject specialization rather than, again, a broader immersion in education as such. So for those who feel that they have not, their foundations, though they have gone through the B.Ed program, their foundations in education as such have not been very strong, and would want to explore other possibilities. So the B.Ed MEd has a particular trajectory which is like set, and this is in the government system. But with things opening up in a big way, if they're willing to spend 2 years trying to understand the discipline better and get a grasp of, use their experience as well, and also move towards research, I would definitely recommend this for the MA education for them. If others would want to add.
Yeah, Rekha, I think I broadly agree with whatever you have said. That is the kind of perspective that we also share.
Yeah. While we would really love to have B.Ed graduates, because there is some experience, already a knowledge of the field, we would have to put this part across to them as well, that the career pathway, unfortunately, is set for them by the National Council of Teacher Education. And Juhi, we are seeking equivalence between MA in our program, MA in Education and MEd with NCT. We haven't got the approval yet, but no, they're not the same. They're not considered the same by the government as of now. The MA in Education is a liberal arts program, and MEd is considered as a professional program.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just to add to it, if you would like to clarify, we also get a lot of queries regarding, wanting to shift towards administrative roles within the education sector.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
This would definitely then help.
Thank you so much.
I think also there are some questions that are that come up very often. So if there are no other questions, then maybe we'll move towards that. But if there are any other questions, then
we can move to the frequent questions. Thank you.
Just give me a minute. You just want to emphasize that, because this has come up, that whoever's appeared for the test paper with the code COQ P11 is eligible to apply. And if they have not already indicated their preference for MA education, in case they have not, there's always a scope to modify, to edit it in the portal and to indicate this as the preference. But like I said, you would have to separately mention the Hyderabad campus and the Mumbai campus. So that has to be specified. And also, whichever program in education, that has to be very clearly spelled out. All three programs, all three preferences could be in education. That is fine. But it will have to be mentioned very carefully there.
Shairi has just shared the link for the WhatsApp group. So there's a group that's been created for any doubt clarification that you have related to the MA education at the Hyderabad campus. You're most welcome to join the group and then add on questions there too.
So just to mention, though there's been no question yet, that TISS does follow the Government of India's reservation policy to the hilt. I mean, letter and spirit, we do go with the reservation policy. And though the dates for the interviews are not, I mean, you will get to know them, would also want to let you know that the teaching starts on August 5th. So we do have that. Yogesh, about the career opportunities, is there anything specific that you would want to pursue? Then I can mention whether or not MA education would be able to make that possible. And Patrata Venkat Madhu, I hope the difference between MA education and MEd is clear enough. Without a B.Ed, you cannot go seek admission for MEd. That is definitely a given. Yogesh, let me just go to my slide to again indicate what kinds of possibilities are there. So let me just, and can add more to this. So this is, these are the possibilities. You see this? Our students have been absorbed as curriculum and resource development persons. They have been involved in project management or evaluation and monitoring. They are research consultants. They have been absorbed as school HMs. So we do have this particular range. It's the same. Is there anything else that Juhi, you had a question?
Right. So, yes, Juhi, we want to ask a question. Please go ahead. Please feel free. Thank you.
No, I did not have a question.
Okay.
No problem. No problem. Well, so I feel we are now all set to look forward to apply to this program. And we cannot thank the professors for really crystallizing the understanding towards the education sector at large. There is no doubt about the fact that that's a sector which really creates a foundation for all the sectors that we are part of. One of the really important takebacks, at least for me, being a mentor, would be the fact that what Rekha ma'am pointed out in her opening note, that how teaching can touch lives. So I feel that's really a great inspiration on behalf of the faculty. And thank you so much, Professor Meera and Professor Sadakat from the Mumbai campus for being a part of us. Professor Asim, thank you so much for always the support we get from you. Shairi, thanks a lot. Participants, thank you for your questions. Thank you for your queries. We hope that you keep asking questions, being part of the WhatsApp group, join the upcoming sessions, but please make sure that you submit your application form well before the 24th night, as in like, because we do not want any of you to get into a technical dilemma. So start looking constructively, as the professor shared about the prospects of the program. Get your submissions done. Any clarification required, if you're part of the WhatsApp group, which Shairi has shared in the chat box, please feel free to share your questions in the chat box. Speak with the professors out there. And thank you so much, ma'am, for a very enriching and an inspiring session tonight.
Thank you so much. I just want to add to what you said about where they can look for information. You could also please go to our website, the School of Educational Studies, and all the other educational programs. To check out the TISS website. We have a small video, but maybe we'll just close now. Yeah.
We can. You mentioned the small video, so I don't think we would ever want to close without watching the video. So maybe we can watch the video as the closing note. I hope all participants would love to take a final look before they round up. Thank you.
Let me just see if I can. Is this, can you, let me just close. Yeah. Can you see the screen, the video?
Yeah.
Good.
It's on.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to see many of these faces in our meeting tonight. Be part of this vibrant campus.
Yes, we'll look forward to seeing them at the OPI first and then at the campus. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.